Hello, it is me with another one of my not ropey games. I like this game. It's got heart. I was talking about it on the podcast this week. It's Kerbal Space Program, where you have these Kerbals which are kind of like the Rabbids, I suppose, sort of funky little fellows. They don't really play a big part. Instead, what does is the rockets and whatnot. So this game's in heavy alpha at the moment. It's only version 0.15, but they're still coming along. So, right, space, the final frontier, and all that business. So here we go. I mean, sun, solar system, the planet Kerbin, which we're currently on, and one of its moons there, the Mun, and then there's another planet, I believe, or is it a small secondary moon? It must be Minimus. It's going a lot slower. So, basically, the Kerbins have decided to make me chief of their space project. So, we'll skip these tutorials. I guess we'd better get to it. So I've actually got the full version here, but what instead I would do, I will use the just the stuff that you get in the demo. And I mean, I say demo, but it's basically a previous version of the game, like 0.13, I believe. So, a rocket, yes. So we've got the tip there, I have a fuel tank on that, and have an engine. And better have a parachute. And there we go, that's our rocket. So, oh, hang on. No, I'm just going to fly it like that, I think. Let's click it back on that. You can see it's like the Spore creature creator, where it's very much sort of drag and drop and pull bits around, and you can make large structures. So, let's launch it. Why not? We've got a rocket. So then, sorry, I had a sort of like burp in my throat then. That's quite weird. Do you ever get that, like a little in your throat? Anyway, so there's our rocket. We've got our HUD down here, which you don't need to see a lot of it. I mean, I've got throttle control here, so I'm going to whack that to maximum. I'm going to put my sort of traction control on, as it were. It's called a SAS, which keeps the rocket straight. And then we will blast off. And there we go. So you can see our speed here, down on the bottom. We're currently doing 200 meters per second. The rocket's starting to glow red, it's starting to overheat, but we don't need to worry about that. We'll be out of fuel before... Oh, we're just... Oh, bit off course. Oh dear, hang on. I can correct this. Because I'm controlling it with the WSAD keys. There we go, back on course. Nearly lost that then. I forgot I didn't put a something to help us control stability. I will do that. Oh, steady. Steady. So there we go, we're about to get into the lower stratosphere. Oh shit, if I can keep it on the straight and narrow. It's a bit squirrely. Come back. We're out of fuel. There we go. At 22,000 meters. You can see we're just floating, we're losing speed quickly. So we are going to come crashing down to Earth. Although we seem quite high, in the grand scheme of things, you can see our blue line is our arc. In the grand scheme of things, we're not very far out at all. We're not very far into space. We're just, we're well within the Earth's gravity. But there we go, we can see we've just got the edge of the atmosphere there. And we're still going up, believe it or not. We're still actually gaining height just from the momentum we have. And there's the launch site down there. So yes, about this time we can accelerate time, if we wish. So we're going to continue going up, and then we are pretty much perfectly still, but the amount of time we spend in the air, the Earth is moving below us. So it would have moved, and we're probably going to ditch in the sea, I imagine, if we zoom right in. So it's quite good with its arcs, it will actually tell you. Yeah, here we go. So I'm just past the apogee, which means the sort of the apex of it, and then, yep, I'm going to ditch in the sea. And there we go, and when the time is right, we're still a bit high, I can pull my parachute. Unfortunately I can't, we're picking up speed now. Gravity's really got hold of us. So yeah, we got up to, what, a good 50,000 meters. That was quite good for one little rocket. But I think we need to get higher. We want to get proper weightlessness, I think, because we're still just about in the atmosphere. So now you can see our speed, but friction, as we come back into, that's going to drop very quickly. You can see our speed start to drop now, just because the air resistance as we get down lower. There it is. I won't deploy my parachute now because everyone would die. Just because it ripped the parachute straight off, I've got to wait till we're a bit slower. There we go, that's a bit better. Parachute. Oh dear. It's not opening. Oh. I don't think the guys made it. I'm sorry, Rich V, Henny, and Macton Kerman. You will be missed. Why didn't the parachute open? I've got to, right, so we've got to sort that. That's the first thing. What we'll do is, we'll get a collar. Because basically, I mean, we could just continue to add more fuel tanks, and then we'll get higher, maybe. But what we'll do, we'll add this collar, a decoupler. So this is stages. So now, if you imagine, I hit the spacebar for the first stage, and the rocket goes off, and we go up in the air. Much the same as we did last time. And then, once we get to the top, I can press space again, and it will fire off this decoupler. Which, you know, like the multi-stage rockets you see, like from NASA, the Apollo ones, but when they get high up, they ditch the big fuel tanks, and they continue upwards with a smaller part of the craft. Exactly the same with this. So now we've got that decoupler. So now we're multi-stage. It's now got a couple of stages. So I'll do that very quickly. So I'll just give it a little flight just to show. So now I cut the engines. And now we're free. And then, oh, that will slow us down, alright. That was the parachute. Did the parachute hit the rocket? Oh no, the parachute hit the rocket. They're going to die again. I'm sorry, guys. Wilmy, Halliford, and Barvis, I will apologise to your families. Shit, the parachute hit the rocket. But yeah, you get the idea. So I think the order of the day and the sort of catchphrase for this game is more boosters, more rockets. So we're going to need a bit more fuel. But then you see, this is the problem. If we add more fuel tanks, so now we have 3, so the engine would last 3 times as long. But that's a huge amount of weight going on, so we need more boosters. But then the problem is more boosters means sort of like more fuel consumption. So it's always a balancing act, but there we go. What I'm going to do there is, it's like a little tripod fitting you can put on there, and then I can whack. See, the clever thing about this, if we set the symmetry to 3, when we put one rocket on it, we'll put 3 on. And there we go. What I will also do, actually, because it was a problem, I just pull this to one side. Oops, I wanted to pull it lower, I wanted to split it below the coupler. Can I do that? There we go. Right. I will add quickly a SAS module, which helps with the stability of the ship. And as well, we'll add a couple of winglets. I have 3 on there, so it's nice and symmetrical. Like that. I'm just going to move them a smidge higher so we don't hit our sort of coupler thing there, and then we'll click that as well, so it would be nice and central. Lovely stuff. We got a rocket, so we got 3 times the power, but 3 times as much fuel. So it'll probably go about the same height. I think we'll go the next stage up already. What I'm going to do is, more decouplers. We'll have another one. We'll have another 3 of those decouplers. We're going to run out of room here, so I'm going to move the rocket up a wee bit. Decouplers. Put these on there. There we go. And then we will have some solid fuel rockets. We will throw them on there. 3 of them. Balls to it, I'm going to put 6 of them on there. I want to give this rocket a bit of oomph. So there we go. These are called lateral decouplers. So stuff will break away sideways. But I'm not going to use them as decouplers. What I'm going to do is fire off all 6 rockets at once, though. All these 3 solid ones. So, now, you can see on the right hand side, these are all of our parts, and we tell it when to split them. So at the moment, stage 6, this is the one that happened first. You can see the rockets highlighting. These 3 will fire first, then I hit the space, which will bust these off and they drop off to the earth, and then it will fire the other 3, and then I hit that again, and then they will bust off, and then I've got my 3 last rockets. But what I'm going to do is drag the order around. So if I get the lateral decouplers there, and just click and drag them up there, and then put the rockets both in the same box, that means when I hit the space the first time, all 6 of these rockets are going to fire off, which is going to give me, hopefully, a fair amount of force. That's going to get me nice and high. And then I've got, after that, we'll ditch them all, and then we've got these 3 rockets, and let's see how we go, shall we? I don't know if it's going to steer, because I've only got 3 little wings on it. But there we go. So T for our try and keep us straight. And only bad thing about these rockets is they're like a firework. Once you light them, there's no putting them out. You just have to ride with it until they burn out. So the best of luck to Donman Kaming and Sam Lee Kerman. Godspeed. Starting to overheat, shouldn't be anything to worry about. Fuel running out on those. So, decouple, and there we go, there's our second stage. The guys are loving it. So we still have 2 fuel tanks left. We're now picking up substantial speed. Basically, once we get to about 1,000 meters per second mark, see, we're leaving the stratosphere now, still accelerating. 1 more tank of fuel. Once we get to about 1,000 meters per second, then I can cut it back. Okay, turning the rockets off slowly. Then if I can steer myself, we're going to try and get into orbit. If I steer myself to the horizon, gently, see, we're still climbing. But now, basically, we're just going to come up and slowly straight back down, unless we can pick up horizontal speed. If we can do that, we can then achieve proper orbit, like orbiting the Earth. Oh, no, sorry, this thing doesn't really steer very well, because some dickhead only put 3 wings on it. Gently, gently. Okay. Lock that in. Now we just need to rotate so we're the right way up. Lovely. Right. Let's get the engines fired back up. We've now got to try and get to about 2,500 meters per second, and then we will be in orbit. Unless we run out of rocket fuel. God damn it. Well, there we go, we're in space, but we're not going to stay there forever. So if I look at my map now, we would have done it as well. We would have done it if we just had a bit more fuel. That would have been a nice straight. See, we can see this grey ring orbiting the Earth already is another one of my rockets. That's one I built yesterday, and yeah, got it round. Because the rockets is all you'll get in the demo, but I mean, once you get the sort of full title, I think it works out with, it's like $15, so it's like £9.60 something. But if you do like donate/register for the full game, what it will basically mean is you get all the updated versions sort of from here on out. It's a bit like Minecraft, apart from it's not shit. So yes, we won't accelerate away from our rocket, not very fast anyway. We could pull the parachute now, but it wouldn't work because we're... well, it'll come out when we hit gravity again, really. So yeah, we're just kind of floating here now until if we speed up time, there we go, to 10 times the amount, we're going to start dropping now. You can see us start to come down, and yeah, we're probably going to ditch in the ocean. So we nearly had it. We're nearly there. We'll end that flight because we know what's going to happen. But we need more boosters. We need more fuel. We need to get up higher. So, was there anything else we needed? It was just more fuel, really, wasn't it? And more boost. See, it's the pain, because the more rockets you add, then the heavier you are, so you need more rockets to do it. Right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. These solid fuel boosters are good, they're good and all, but they run out too quickly. They only burn for 25 seconds. But what I found out, it costs more, it sort of creates more weight, but you get more power, is if I just strap more, let's set the symmetry right, strap 3 more fuel tanks, and 3 more engines, like that. And then what we'll do is we will add the lateral couplers, radial. The radial decouplers, about there I'd say, and then we have 3 more fuel tanks, because these last a lot longer than the solid rockets. So I have them there, and we'll strap 3 more engines onto them. Lovely. See, without the symmetry thing, you'll be there for bloody hours trying to line this up straight. And right, I'm going to go for it. So, right, what we're going to have is a couple of struts. See, I only know this because I've found this out the hard way. If you didn't have struts, then your rocket would do the splits, because once you kick on all the burners, the legs just go whoop and splay sideways, and the rocket ends up doing the splits, and you explode and die horribly. So we're trying to avoid that. Right, what I'm going to do though is I'm going to supersize this thing. We're going to have a few more rockets, and 2 more here. That should work out about right. I should be able to get more fuel tanks onto those now. Looks good. If I get them a bit higher so they're straight, because otherwise we'll have a very wobbly ship indeed. Right, the ones there I'm going to put in a 1 block there, because otherwise they're going to foul on each other. Yeah, that worked out alright. We've got a wee bit more of a gap between those two, but that's not bad. So, engines. So how many have we got now? This is quite a few engines, really, for a little rocket. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of these engines. Oh god, I better get some straps on these. See, and it means I've only got to do this 3 times, because I've got the symmetry thing on. Once I had a strap to one of it, it adds it sort of around the other side as well, automatically, keeping it symmetrical, so it's quite good in that way. Another strap there, and we will strap the whole thing together like that. And I'm very tempted to... No, not sideways, I want to put them on top. I don't think I can. Knackers. Never mind. Don't worry, we'll see how much fuel, we'll see how high that'll get us. I want to get into orbit this time. It's going to be a lot of power going through the couplers though, because now I've got 9 rockets going through the sort of thin, sort of like lateral couplers there. There's a lot of power going through it. If I try and steer too quickly or twist it, it's just going to snap them straight off. But we'll cross that bridge if we get to it. And 3, 2, 1. So although the thrust may not be quite as great, the duration is far longer. So already we're up to like 150 meters per second, which isn't bad, and we're not even halfway through the fuel tanks yet. Ditch those. Oh dear. These rockets weren't firing. Should I end that? These rockets weren't firing. No, it's okay. I'm still picking up speed. These should have been firing at the same time. I messed up the order. We're still accelerating though. I'm gonna continue on with this. may not be going fast enough though, I don't think. We need to be going... Well, let's see, our apogee's 31,000. It needs to be at least like 50,000. Maybe we are going to make it then. That's close enough, I think. I'm going to try and get into position now. To get my ass in orbit. Oh, this thing really doesn't steer. It needs more wings. No, this way. Come on. Got to fight the bloody thing all the way. There we go. Come on, I'm losing speed. I'm going to smash back into Earth otherwise. Right. That's close enough. It means we're not going to be bang on the equator. We're going to be a few degrees out. But you can see our sort of like trajectory, our arc, sort of like straightening back up now. Now we're sort of putting huge amounts of momentum in that way. We're looking for a speed of about 2,500 meters per second. That will get us into. That will sort of like give us sustained orbit. So I just don't know if the fuel tanks are going to be enough. Oh no, 2 more fuel tanks. Back to the map. Oops. Come on, little rocket. Nearly there, 2,500. It's roughly the right speed. You can see it, our orbit. There we go, we've got orbit. I'm cutting the engines. So there we go, 56,000 and what's our furthest point? 261,000 meters. There we go, we're in orbit. That's it. So I can turn the engines off, turn our stability control off. That's it, now we are out of the gravity of cruel Mother Earth. Well, we're still in it, but we're in it in a manageable way. So now I can accelerate time to give you a bit of a, yeah, to see the Earth, or see Kerbin falling away beneath us. It's a shame we only have a smidge. There's the moon, there's the Mun, as it's called. We've nowhere near enough fuel to get there, but that is our next target. I want to get to the moon. I want to land on it. We're going to need a lot more fuel. So there we go, we're in orbit. That rocket will be there. Should I bring the guys back home? I think we should. Now I've got Donman, Kaming and Samley. They're still going. They haven't died yet. So we'll bring them back home. Because they've done about 3 orbits of the Earth, which isn't bad for like the 4th rocket. Now we need to degrade our orbit, so let us first put it back down to ×1 speed so we can get control. Okay, stabilise that, and then we're pointing our nose directly at the ground. Oh, I'm trying to do this thing. It really is a shitty... Ugh. It doesn't steer very well at all. Hopefully we'll land in the sea. It's safer landing in the sea. And hopefully I haven't damaged my parachute. Right, we're nearly there, and there we go, I'll lock that on. So now we must degrade our orbit. So if I fire directly at the Earth. Back to the map, and then we can see I'm out of fuel. Oh dear. What if I... Is that getting me any lower? A little bit? Oh no. I think these Kerbin are stuck in space. The lowest point is 42,000 meters. Maybe that's low enough that I can get my parachute out and it will drag us to a halt. 42.5. That's the closest we're ever going to be to the Earth. Oh no. This is like the second worst thing I think I've done to him. The worst one was where I was trying to land on the moon. The Mun, rather. So I had to slingshot around the Earth about 3 times to really get some speed. And then I came really close to the moon. I was just going to do like an Apollo 13, where I'd sort of like swing around the back of the moon and then back to Kerbin. But I didn't account for the slight gravity of the Mun, so it sort of pulled me skew-if, and I didn't have enough fuel, and it just sent me off outward towards the sun very slowly. So I could always see Kerbin, but I had no hope of ever getting back to it. Poor bastards. What height are we at? 58,000 meters. Apparently I'm in the atmosphere though, it says. So if I deploy the parachute... Hasn't really done anything, I don't think. There's my rocket. Yeah, so I'm not really changing bearing. Or am I? That's only 94 meters away. It's getting further away though. So maybe by deploying that, maybe if I can generate some drag. But I was trying to spin. I just need to get into the atmosphere and generate a bit of drag, and then that'll be it. I'll drop like a stone. But it's pretty cool. You can sort of see faintly the traced orbit there of my other craft. It's quite a good feature. $40,000 and dropping. Are these fellas going to make it? So you can see, yeah, this mark here, the P is their lowest point. So it must be because I've like span it around and I'm putting like the arse face of the capsule forward. It's creating more drag, and there is just enough atmosphere that I'm creating drag now. So I'm slowing myself down. Lucky guys. I don't know whether the parachute's knackered now because I tried to deploy it going over 2.5 kilometers per second. It may have just torn off, I don't know. So that could be bad news unless I hit water, in which case it will still be bad news in fact. We can leave these guys to it though, because in the full game it's pretty good at the minute, so we can go to the space center, go to like the little satellite picture here, and we can find it. If I wasn't a retard. Is that it? So many crashed rockets. No, that's... Yeah, it'd be somewhere near to the Earth. It's one of these. Yeah, that one. Or that one, possibly. But yes, so they will land. Anyhow. So what we needed was lots more fuel. Lots more thrust. So I think... Right, we needed to do this, so... yeah, what we need to do was... Okay, so those go into there. Those into there. Those into there. Click and drag all these into there, which means now all of those rockets will fire up at the same time. I need to get more fuel, really. Is it like a little fuel tank I can use? Mark 3 fuselage, Mark 1 fuselage. Plonk something like that just on top. How much does that carry? Another 150, mass 1.2. It's not very efficient. RCS fuel tank, that's stabilizers. Capacity 250. Oh, that's pretty good. A little diddy like fuel tank. If I can get it to sit on top, do the symmetry. No, it's not a bloody kegger. Right, get on there. Bloody hell. See, there's a knack to sort of like doing stuff like this. You've got to sort of look at it from the side and then it will want to stack on top like that. There we go. So, right. There's now got more fuel. Cool. Should we fire it off? We're still not going to have enough for the moon, I don't think. What I'm going to do, in fact, is... I have a great idea. End that flight, and what we would do is separate that from the nose cone. I'll have that back in a minute. I'm going to put a liquid fuel engine on there. Maximum thrust 50, thrust vectoring, yes. I need a little fuel tank, a little one like that. I'm going to have that. And then my decoupler will go on there, and then that. And then we need I don't really need a couple of wings for that, it's so small. Right, so there we go. Now we've got our very own tiny rocket just with the tip. And I do realise it's looking more and more like a wang the more I build, apart from the hefty base. Right, stabilizers on, throttle to maximum. We're going to get more power this time. And oh, I was just turning the fuel tanks on, and here we go. Speed up time slightly. Oh. 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 Oh dear. Oh shit. It's okay. I can save you. That's a bit of a design flaw. The parachute came out when I think that was a bit too much power. Just want to land it. Come on. This thing is far too delicate. They're alive! Oh. They're alive. They're alive. That was the best flight ever. Right, too much power going through them. I need more stability. Right, winglets. Everything can be solved with winglets. I don't know if it's going to like that. What I'm going to do as well, what I did notice was, if I have a couple of winglets, I don't want that many though, I just want one or two. Like really spiky ones. And if they were the other way up, that'd be cool. I know they're canards for like stability, but they might do. How heavy are they? Tip mass 0.04 compared to 0.08. Fantastic. I'm going to have those in there as stabilizers, as like a landing doodad. If I can get them to, won't be a second. No, there. So now I have like a little tripod at the bottom. Right. So now I should have, I might need another stability computer on there, I think. Because now I've got the wings, so they should be able to try and keep me in the straight and narrow if I've got enough. Yeah, see the wings are flapping around now, trying to keep me stable even though I'm not moving. I don't know. Anyhow, fuel tanks and main ignition. Yeah, unfortunately, I cannot separate the now dead 3 motors in the middle. You can't see, but they're no longer firing because they're out of fuel. I need to program it in next time so that they can be detached. Otherwise it's just extra weight I'm carrying. Oh, I'm starting to lose it. Shit. Stupid rocket, steer. God friggin' damn it. I don't think I'm high enough yet to go into orbit. I might be, if I'm very quick. Uh-oh. Oh, knackers. So I forgot to turn the engines off, right. I may as well, right. Split that off, because it's just a dead fuel tank. Why ain't that a bummer? God bloody damn it. Well, pissed off about that. May as well get back to Earth. So this fuel tank would last quite a long time, actually. If I'm actually in space just with this, it would be alright. If the feckin' thing could stay straight. It needs a little controller on it or something. But I mean, it's not bad acceleration, really. Anyhow. And see, the fuel tank would last absolutely ages. That's not bad. I will have to change the order though, so it releases the parachute on a separate feed, because I think still it threw the parachute open. Right, so why did that happen? It got high up, it got right into the stratosphere, then it just lost it. I think I'm going to have to throw another stability computer on there. Or 3, I think. Right, in the order, what I said I'll do first is... first stage, throw that up there. We just want the parachute and that bit to stay with us. Will that work? Oh, I don't care. I was going to say by the time with this little rocket it's fine. So could we solve it with more boosters, or do we hang on, right. These are SAS modules, they're sort of like stability. 3 of them. But see, this is more weight just going on. It's a bloody pain. We wanted to make it so we could detach those center 3 first. That would be impossible. All we could do is try and get more fuel tanks onto them. Oh, forget it. If it stays going straight, that'll be alright. That'll get us into... That might get us to the moon. I'm sure it will. I don't think we'll get back, but it will get us there. So, it is a bit slow just on the launch pad because it's sort of trying to calculate all the bits. Right, and ignition. Speed it up a bit. Struggling on that main joint there. It's so much force going through that joint. It's holding it together though. It failed about here last time. So it's starting to wibbly wobble. Yeah, it's doing it again. Right, cut the engines, cut the engines. See, I don't know why it's doing that. The SAS is trying to counteract it, but I really don't know why it's doing that. Ah, bloody hell, this rocket is shit. Why doesn't it work? Why doesn't it want to stay straight? Okay. So the answer is add more weight to it. Add more and more systems to it to keep it bloody going. So what we would do is add something called an RCS fuel tank. We need 3 of them. RCS is like a... 3 of them. There we go. And we need to add 3 of other balls to it. Right, I don't need to yet. It'd be in the propulsion, no, it'd be in control. This little thing, like a little backpack thing. You put some of these on your ship in strategic points and they will, they're like mini thrusters. It should hopefully work with the computers to try and keep this bloody thing stable. I've got 3 tanks, so if I add some on there as well. It's going to use up the fuel I better add. Right, okay, so what I do is more RCS fuel on those bits. So this isn't how NASA did it, but it's going to use up so much fuel. This separate fuel, though, RCS fuel, is separate from main rocket fuel. So now, if I hit the T to keep us straight, and then I hit the R button, that will fire off our rockets to try and keep us stable. There we go. You can see the little coming out the sides of our ship. If we're moving, that would sort of like try and keep us upright. So, fuel tanks on and ignition. I'm gonna speed up time because we're fine until we get up right near the edge of atmosphere. Then it gets too much for him. Slowing down time again, and I'm hitting on the RCS now. Plenty of RCS fuel, that's good. Try turning it off now. Yeah, it's just as we go through the atmosphere, there's just like, no, hang on, RCS back on. Thank God for that. Right. Separate. I was just starting to lose it then. Oh, all my RCS fuel tanks are gone, aren't they? Okay, no matter. SAS off. Let's steer ourselves. We will get into orbit. I haven't got any RCS rockets left. That's a damn shame. They're well handy at this bit. Okay, I'm going all the way around because I'm an idiot. Start slowing myself down. This thing really doesn't want to steer. It's just because it's a giant cock shape. We're getting there. I don't think I've blown it. Oh, I'm so crap. Right, hang on. Let's go left. Let's go left. Go left. There we go. Okay, slow it down. Start pressing the right key now, even though I'm like 60 degrees away from my thing. Straighten her up. And T. Perfect. That'll do. Let's go. 2,500 meters per second we're after. Bloody rockets. I was glad I had that RCS though, it's going to do the same thing again. So yeah, so our apogee is higher than that other orbit, so what we need to do is, yeah, 2,500 meters per second. And get that, and then I can do, once we get in orbit, I can then calculate and do the slingshot to get to the moon. But I need to be in orbit first, otherwise it won't work. So I'm good at doing this bit. I'm good at getting up and like throwing something around the equator. Let's hit my fuel tanks last. Nearly that. Bastard, fuel tanks ran out. Right. Oh well. Godspeed, little rocket. It's gonna be Oh dear, it's so squirrely. I'm gonna have to try and take this fucking thing to the moon. Right. Okay, fire main rocket. There we go. Come on, I need that orbit, go all the way around. A smidge more. Lovely, there we go. Need it a bit more actually, need it to be about 60,000. Okay, cool, shut the engines down. So, now we are in orbit. We've seen this before, but this time it is different because we are going to land on the moon. The moon is doing 542 meters per second this way, counterclockwise. We are travelling around the world at, how fast? Is that us there? Yes, about 2,000 meters per second. I've missed it. If I do my burn phase now, I'm going to end up getting there. My orbit will get to the moon there. However, by the time we get there, because we have to speed up time because it would take several hours, the moon would instead be around here. So I'm going to have to do a revolution of the Earth and catch up to the moon. But that's fine because we're now in orbit. We could just stay here if we want. We're just going around the equator. But we need to wait till we go around the Earth once, and then we've got to wait till about here or so. It's about sort of 60 degrees out. We need to sort of prepare for. But yeah, we've got fuel with that, and we've got a little landing thing, so we could feasibly land on the moon. I can't speed up time because I'm below 150,000 meters. It's a bit of a pain. That's where we're going though. Nearly there. We should get there quite quick because we're only in a little craft and we'll pick up speed nice and quick. So on our initial burn, on our sort of like controlled burn, to slingshot ourselves right out, we'll sort of create a large elliptical orbit. So when we're roughly, yeah, about here, about this place on the Earth, we'll do a controlled burn, then you'll see our sort of blue orbit, you'll see that sort of like balloon out on one side, and sort of create a very large elliptical orbit that will just go round. And because we're near as damn it, when we got into orbit, we did it at 270 degrees, sort of bang on to the horizon. We should be, yeah, near as damn it, bang on the equator, which is where the moon is. It's near as damn it just because the sort of shape of Kerbin, I assume, is the shape of the Earth. So it's a, what was it? Oblate spheroid, I think, is the shape. So it's the Earth is kind of squashed. It's sort of like bigger around the equator than it is from pole to pole. So that yeah. Oh, we're getting lower for some reason. How low are we? Oh, that's okay. Our orbit's degrading, but we could still do about 6 or 7 orbits of the Earth before it degrades too much. Anyhow, that's not going to matter because once we get to this tip here, then we're going to fire off anyway. But yeah, so the moon is yeah, tidally locked, which means, I don't know if you knew that, I learned it a few years ago, the face of the moon that we see is always the face that we'll see, because the Earth doesn't really spin. It wobbles a bit, so when we see the Earth, it will wibble around a wee bit so we can see just over half of the moon. But yeah, the reason it is the dark side of the moon is because it's always dark. Because it is always always facing away from us, this side. We'd never see, on Earth, we'd never see that side unless you're the lucky fellas on the Apollo mission that sort of come around the back and use it to slingshot back. So those are pretty much the only people who've seen like the back side of the moon. So yeah, cool fact, eh? I like space. We're going so slow because we can only put it up to 2 times like time compression because we're just in the atmosphere, which is a bit of a pain because that's now going to start dragging us down. But it's not going to matter, I don't think. That's our lowest point there. That's 62,000 meters. That's still pretty damn high up. See, if I go for the boost now, we're gonna hit about there. If I get it right, that might be alright. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do the boost. So, because I don't want our orbit to degrade so much that it this rocket's too bloody squirrely. Shit. Okay, right. You can actually use a Microsoft Flight Control Pad, which might be the answer. Okay, right, that's near enough, I think. I don't think it's going to matter because the moon is going to catch us anyway. So, control burn. Watch the orbit of our craft. See it stretching out? So I'm not bang on 270 degrees, so I'm actually forcing us slightly away from the equator, slightly away from the moon's orbit, sort of up and higher and lower. But I've got to do it because it's too squirrely and I'll piss it up otherwise. So it's time to back off from the engines now because we don't want to overshoot this. See the orbit? Backing off on the engines even more. There. Nearly had it perfect, but that's pretty good. So you can see now our orbit, because we did like a controlled burn right here, it means we've then sort of like slingshotted our way through there, and yeah, it's going to take us all the way out there and back. So now we'll still go around the Earth, but we've just propelled ourselves a lot faster, and it's gonna the Earth's gravity is gonna sort of keep us pulled in for long enough that it's gonna sort of bend us this way, and then at this point here we'll be going exactly sort of like 0 meters per second, and then the gravity from the Earth still all the way out here to the moon, gravity is still fucking biting us in the arse. It will then sort of pull us back to Earth. So see, I've sped up time by a huge amount. I did it too early. Hopefully we're far away from the moon. Far away enough from the moon that its gravity is not going to affect us. Well, no, in fact, I could be... Right, hang on. Right, slow down time. Could I try and break out the gravity? Could I try and... Could I wait here for the moon? I'm only going 200 meters per second. That's not very fast at all. If I could equalize my movement out now, if I could sort of counteract, so if I face roughly away from the moon and give it a little psh, that should try and slow me down, and then we'll be nearly stopped, and then the moon will catch up to us. So I've got to see how this affects my orbit. Nearly see that flash? That's us sort of like... So it's making our path thinner. Oh, engine off. Just going to sit here and wait it out. Because now I'm going 170 meters per second, I'm slowing right down. So hopefully I might even be here long enough, because I'm only going quite slow and the moon is doing still 542 meters per second. So hopefully... here we go. Ooh, slow down time, slow down time, slow down time. So, what's going to happen is the moon is going to affect me. I'm nearly in the moon's gravity now. It's going to pull me and slingshot me that way, but then Earth's gravity is going to take over, and then I'm going to do that again, possibly. I don't know what's going to happen now. But now the moon has me. I think, so if I speed up time a smidge now, because I need to get close to the moon before I can start. I've got to do like a controlled burn, because unfortunately now, I'm now approaching the moon very quickly, at like 700 meters per second. It should be getting quite big. If I can find the moon. It should be getting a lot bigger now. No, that's not the moon. Retard. So I'll speed up time a bit. It's certainly getting a bit closer. We don't want to miss it, because it's going to... We're going to sort of go around this side of the moon. We're going to go and sling round. But instead, if I can get a bit of a controlled burn that way, roughly, and give it a bit of a... Go to the orbit a minute. That should hopefully see us hit the moon. Land on the moon. Not smash into the moon. You can see our orbit. I've never actually landed on the moon before, you know. I've smashed into the moon at 4 kilometers per second, but never landed on it. Slow down. So there we go, that is pushing me more towards the moon. Engines off. So at this point here, I'm going to be 5,000 meters from the Earth's surface. And then, unfortunately, because of my momentum, I'm going to slingshot out of that. So if I now face away from the moon and give it a blast, that should slow me down, and then the moon's gravity should take me in. I'm going to say about there, though. Roughly about there. Give the engines a little tweak. Careful, I don't want to sort of like miss the moon altogether. There we go, I'm going to touch down on the moon. You can see where the blue line there intersects the moon. I'm actually going to touch down on it, but unfortunately I'm going to have a lot of sideways sort of momentum. I think I'm going to have to counteract that when I get closer. My fuel, I don't think I'm going to have enough. I think I'm going to smash into the moon. Because there's no atmosphere on the moon, so there's no air resistance to slow me down. Right. What could I do? So I've got too much momentum that way, so I need to sort of like face... It's certainly getting big now. Stop, you rocket. No, stop. No, this is important. No. Oh. To shorten my orbit like this. Because then this is sort of like counteracting the motion. I mean, with a bit of a tweak, I could actually make it so I was orbiting the moon. There we go. So now I'm going to be coming down fairly square to the moon's surface. So now I need to get my nose upright. Stupid damn ship, it's too squirrely. And give it a bit of a... I don't want to miss the moon though, that's the thing. So unfortunately I'm coming towards the moon at 800 meters per second, and it's only going to increase. Now the gravity sort of got me harder. 20,000 off the surface, 20,000 meters. Come on, fuel tank, last. There we go, so I've got a lot of forward momentum, but not a lot of downward momentum. That's quite good. So if I can try and counteract that. My fuel's going to run out very soon though. Oh no, now I'm increasing in height. Shit, what have I done? Am I now pretty much in orbit around the moon? Oh fuck. I'm going to have to wait this one out. What I'm going to have to do is speed up time, because I can't waste any more fuel dicking around with trying to get my orbit straight. Well, there's the moon. There's the dark side of the moon that I'm going around. Get the camera out. There's a big crater over there. $36,000. 38,000. What's the peak of my 58,000 meters is the peak, and then I'm going to start dropping again. I've got a smidge of fuel left. Here we go. Now I'm dropping. Stupid satellite. There's the old Earth anyway. There's old Kerbin. Whose idea was it to go to the moon anyway? Think of poor Donman, Kaming and Samley. They survived the last mission to get put up for this. I'm coming down yet a lot steeper this time. I think they're going to be one big flat thing on the moon. Or I could try and increase my orbit, and I could try and increase the orbit, and then I could just end up circling the moon forever as a little Martian, little moon satellite. Should we do that instead? Will that be a happier ending? Then yeah, we'll do that. I think that'd be a happier ending than just leaving them or smash them into the moon's surface. So I'm pretty much heading in the right direction, so I just need to give the engines a bit of a blip, which is all I've got left in them. Speed turned down to 1. Need to get a bit of height. There we go. That's it. Oh, that's quite good actually. So now, in less than a minute, that's our lowest point, 1,000. So we're gonna come a kilometre away from the moon's surface. But unfortunately, our sideways movement makes it impossible to land. That's pretty cool though. It's the closest I've been to the moon. Wow, it's the closest I've been to the moon and not smashed. Ugh. I would try and deploy the parachute, but that won't work on the moon because there's no air. We're getting a bit low actually. Hang on. Got to man my keyboard again. Nope, no, face up. Fuck! Rockets! Oh no, they're alive! It just smashed the rocket off. I'm still alive. What the hell happened there? I think I gave it enough just in time. No more rocket. Now what happens? What's that done to my orbit? I'm still in orbit. I'm going to get even lower next time. I'm going to be 585 meters from the surface. Press the parachute button. Yeah, it doesn't want to come out just because yeah, because there's hardly any fuel left in this tank. I might be right. I might be able to, when I get low again, I'll try and create a bit of turbulence. No, there's no air, so I can't create turbulence. What do you do now? What do you do about that? I'm like the loneliest butt plug. There, so 584 meters. Although by the looks of it, yeah, I'm going to clip. Am I going that way? Oh, I see. So they're going to be fine until I get all the way around the moon again. So they've got quite a long wait because it's going to take them quite a while because I'm not going terribly fast. So there we go. They'll be okay there for a short while. But yeah, it's not looking good for him unless we mount a rescue mission from the Earth. But then I don't think there's any docking capabilities yet. I think that's coming in the next update. So, anyhow, thank you for joining me in my silly look of the Kerbin Space Program. Oh, what a beautiful rocket it was. Now it's just a piece of shit flinging around the moon. Oh dear. So that was the Kerbal Space Program. You can download the demo, which is like previously the full game, just a version that hasn't been updated. It's 0.13, I believe. We're now on 0.15, so it's still fairly recent-ish, and it certainly has. This is all the things I've used here are stuff that is in like the free version, apart from maybe those canards. I don't think are, but then the winglets are anyway. So I mean, you can still do everything, all of this. Anyway, and I got to the moon in like 4 attempts. So yes, have fun and do something with the Final Frontier. I really should have thought of an ending to this video before I got to it. I don't know. Anyhow, I'm going to stop because I've now been going for an hour and 7 minutes, and I don't even want to think what my hard disk space is going to look like now. I think that's why it's slowing down towards the end. So, goodbye.